Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are indulging my goth tendencies with a black lying cousin. This is I Myself Am Strange and Unusual by Bee's Knees Lacquer. It has a red to orange to gold shimmer and a bunch of holo flakes. You will be able to see in just a second that this is another polish I used to disguise my staining. This was the second manicure I wore after that happened. The staining isn't as bright now, and you can see it looks less even, a bit more blotchy. I am stalling trying out some of my more sheer polishes that I bought, so these are probably going to have to wait until May. For this first coat, you can see how it looks like it has just a bit of a blue or a teal lean to it. But built up, it is black. You can already see some of those large red particles of the shimmer. Sadly, we will only be seeing the red while I'm applying the polish, but the other shifts will show up in the full hand shots. This polish went on so smoothly, like butter. You can also see how hard I'm trying to keep it off my skin because dark colors are always harder to clean up. This was not opaque in one coat, and I do think this polish is meant to be worn at opacity, but it's also very easy to get there. I grabbed this polish because 1, I do love a black polish, but 2, I didn't have a black with red. I have some black to red multi-chromes, but not this style of polish that is a black jelly with a shimmer, and this one just called to me. As I get into the second coat, I definitely do not need another. In fairness, I do not have the longest nails. If you happen to have very long nails and you paint extremely thin, I could see you needing a third. But really, just don't paint thin and you'll be fine in 2. This polish did remind me of black tourmaline. It is a very dark crystal that forms in little columns. I did find an interesting image of a Roman ring from the 3rd century that used black tourmaline as the gemstone. The gem has Daedalus carved into it. If anyone remembers the myth of 2 men flying with wings made of feathers and wax, and Icarus flying too close to the sun and then plummeting to his death, it was his father Daedalus who created the wings and who flew with him, and also warned him not to fly too high. If you've never heard the myth in full, it is absolutely bonkers, and I will have to return to it in another section. Now that we are out in the sun, you can see immediately that we are getting that red shift and holo flakes. There are a lot of flakes in there. As I move over toward the window, the shimmer moves to an orange and a gold. I'm going to say the same annoying thing I say every time I get a more opaque lying cousin, that I think glitter would give a better holo payoff than flakes do. But for those glitter haters, this one does remove like a charm. I honestly think in my footage it looks a bit flat, but in person it does have some dimensionality because it is a jelly. That does not make it uneven or translucent. I have zero ability to see through it fully to my nail. I feel like this is a good homage to Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. I think she would want tiny little black veils to put over each nail to complete the look. She's not our first goth girly in pop culture, but she's certainly of that pedigree. In the sun and shade, you can again see that red shift at the start near the window. As I move over to the shade, the shimmer doesn't have a chance to shift. In the darker area, the shimmer still shows up as just a tiny speckle here and there. And all of the holo now looks silver. Getting back to Daedalus and Icarus, you might be wondering, why do they need wings in the first place? Well, you're in for a treat. Daedalus was a known craftsman, and he was hired by the king of Crete, called Minos, to build a labyrinth to contain a hideous monster called the Minotaur. This might be sounding familiar. The existence of the Minotaur is because of the wife of King Minos, and Daedalus, who built her a wooden cow to hide inside because she desired a particularly sexy white bull. Yeah, if it helps, she did have her mind addled by several gods. And this isn't even why he was imprisoned. He was imprisoned because he gave away the secret of how to escape the labyrinth. In the artificial light shot, we do start by facing the window. The shimmer is red, but as my fingers wiggle, you will see that orange and gold. I don't think the shimmer quite makes it to chartreuse, but it does take on a bit of dinginess. As I move over to the incandescent lights, the shimmer only shows as red. We are still getting some rainbow flare from the holo, but I think that's more so from the natural light of the window. That is pretty normal for holo. It just likes natural light better than anything else. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that I can cobble together skates with tiny rockets on them, composed entirely of string, mud, and the methane I sequestered from a compost pile. Please enjoy a clip of my squirrel and the blue jay coming for a peanut. And all of the holo now looks silver. Oh my god.